St George Illawarra Dragon.
The only team in the comp that's bought more players than you. Jesus. And he's bought some quality. Cook, Holmes, Gutho.
Yeah. So Dragons,
experience.
a month out from the finals last year, Dragons were going to make the finals. Their last month was pretty disappointing. Still conceded over 634 points. That's where
they?
Yeah.
Wow.
600. Well, that was their big thing. They won big or lost big.
They did, didn't they?
There was nothing in between.
Yeah.
I don't think they had too many close games.
No,
they won big or they lost big. It was rather extraordinary. 634 minus 126 for and against. Yet a month out from the finals, they looked like certainty to play finals. They just fell at the last few hurdles. They won 11 games last year. There was an improvement on what they'd shown in previous years. Roster-wise, well, it's been significant. Damien Cook's come in. Emre Gula recently. Clint Gutherson. Valentine Holmes. Lachlan Ilias. So some really good buys there. Some experience in those buys. Losses. Jack Bird, Max Fagay, Ben Hunt, Zach Lomax, Jesse Marchie, Dan Russell, Tamale. So the big losses are Jack Bird, Ben Hunt and Zach Lomax. Most of their try scoring last year was created around Ben Hunt, and the bloke scoring most of the tries and most of the points was Zach Lomax. Now, Zach Lomax, I think Valentine Holmes cancels that out. Zach Lomax I thought was a huge loss, but Valentine Holmes cancels that out from both a point scoring creation and experience point of view. The halves is interesting. He's going to replace Ben Hunt, one of the most experienced in the game, with young Lachlan Ilias, who's coming off an injury at South Sydney. I think it would have been difficult for a young halfback to replace Adam Reynolds at South Sydney. I think that was to come into that spine with Damien Cook and Cody Walker and Latrell. I think it would have been hard and daunting for a young player, and I thought he made a good fist of it.
Especially given they released Reynolds knowing that Ilias was there as his replacement.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know why he suddenly fell out of favour, found himself in reserve grade, then got a bad leg injury. I think if he doesn't get the bad leg injury, he'd have got back into first grade with them because they needed a halfback. So he's a steady Eddie sort of player. He's not brilliant, but he's steady Eddie. He can manage a team. He's got good kicking game. He's a solid defender. He's got the ability to break the line. I mean, he's still got his development in front of him. And that might be all he needs to be with that Dragons side. The Dragons have got size. Have you seen how big they are?
They're massive.
They're just a massively big...
Did you see the size of Luciano Leilua?
Yeah. They're huge.
Yeah.
They're just a big side. Right across the field, they're a big side. But I don't know what the switch is there. Like some days they win by 40 and they lose by 40, and you can't. Sometimes on the same day, they can be brilliant for 20 minutes and then just horrible for 20 minutes. So look, I rated them a top 8 chance last year, and everyone sort of laughed at it. Well, with a month to go, they were going to make the 8. They just fell at the final hurdles. I think they're going to be a little bit better.
With Gutho and Cook, they've got to be more consistent naturally, organically.
Competitiveness, control, consistency, I think, is the key. Consistency of effort, consistency of intensity, not falling out of games when things are going away from you. I think that's one of the real features of Clint Gutherson is his fighting qualities, his intensity. He doesn't give up. He doesn't give up on anything, and he keeps his team in the contest. And if he can do that for the Dragons, they've got the talent to score points, and that makes them dangerous. I think they're a top 8 contender. I don't see them as a premiership contender, but they're a top 8 contender along with another 12 or 13 teams there in the middle of the roster. I'll keep repeating, Melbourne, Penrith. Wait to see what happens with the Broncos. Sharks are definite top 4. The rest, there's not much between them. But the Dragons are top 8 contenders, no risk, and they're a big team. I'll be surprised if they're not the biggest team in the league. The biggest team. Where were they last year? Last year they had 2,200 games of NRL experience. This year they got 2,600. They've improved by 400 games of NRL experience with Holmes and Gutherson and Damien Cook coming into the roster, and that should serve them well. It should stop the inconsistency. It should stop the bad days.
What do you think about Sloan on the wing?
No.
That's what's going to happen.
Why?
Sloane's playing on the wing, Gutho's playing fullback.
Right. No. Anyway, see what happens.
Why not? I mean, but Flanagan has explained it that it's getting Gutherson in. It's not a blow for Sloane. And Sloane himself has admitted that it's an educational thing for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he bristled initially, but he seems to have come to terms with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure wing will suit him. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's up to them.